Hey, honey?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Geeky Grind. I'm your board barista Fen, and this is the show where I talk about what's going on with Warhammer 40k, my own personal hobby, projects I'm working on, all that cool stuff. And today, two things I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is the big elephant in the room, the big piece of news coming out of Warhammer 40k this week, the fact that a lot of the Firstborn Marines are no longer on the website. And they are all going over to Legends. So stuff like the Scouts, the Assault Marines, the Hunter, the Stalker, long-range vehicles, bikes, the attack bike, the Scout bikers. Lots of stuff that is all of the company command squad, the Firstborn librarian, just so much stuff is just being like out to pasture. And I got into Warhammer 40k in 8th edition with Black Templars. Was my first actual army, like real actual 2,000 point army I put together, and that was a lot of Crusader squads and Terminators and Vanguard veterans. Pretty much like the only... I could use the Firstborn Terminators as the stand-ins for the new Terminators, but pretty much the only models out of that original army, and I'll show you that in a second, that are going to have actual data sheets when the codex drops, is going to be my Vanguard veterans and my Rhino, and like I said, I can use the Terminators, but everything else is just going to be gone. I know we've got the talk about the Space Marine Scout kill team is coming, so that is probably one of the things they're doing. They're just phasing and updating the kits. The Outriders, those things, I've been in love with those things. They're replacing the bikes. The big unanswered question is like Protoss kill teams. I mean, they're still selling the Kill Team Cassius box, and you can if you get a couple of those boxes, you can finagle it around and you can create the kill teams you want. With the limitations, like you can only take so many bikes, you can only take so many Terminators, you can only take so many Vanguard vets, kind of fitting in because you get like one Vanguard vet and a Terminator, and you get a guy on a bike in that kill team. So there's a possibility that they'll stay, but you'll have to buy multiple Kill Team Cassius in order to actually flesh out your kill team, your Proteus kill teams. And if they do that, are they going to keep the Kill Team Cassius kill team and the Proteus kill team, because you're just basically putting different shoulder pads on it to make not be Kill Team Cassius? It's a very like weird spot we're in. But if they keep that data sheet in Deathwatch Codex, then of the original of the Proteus kill team, and you're able to buy Kill Team Cassius in order to and use other models to sub in from your collection, I like that. I really think that the whole the indexes we got for Deathwatch, I think it's a step forward in the right direction of like, hey, so you got all these different, 9th edition kill team building was like weird because you're just like, okay, so I have to take 5 of these, and then I gotta take these, and then I can take as many of these as I want. Streamlining it down, making it be okay, just plug in. You can't take the sergeant out of the box. Take the sergeant out. You get an extra mini to kit bash and work with there, and you can drop in the 2 guys out of your squad of 3, your non-sergeants, add them into a squad, add them into this squad, and create a kill team. I like it. I like the kill team building rules in 10th. I do agree that the Space Marine Codex is just overload of lots of different options. I almost feel like so many of like the specialty, like it's in Gravis armor and it's got a melta. Okay, you know, I think Rista would just do like take like the original tactical squad kit and just re-release that with the Primaris size models, give us a bunch of different weapon options in it, and just be like, here, have fun with the modeling, because everything coming out is being push fit, easy to assemble. Yeah, it's good. It's easy to be able to slap together. I've been actually show you. I've actually got a little bit of an update on what I've been painting. I've been working on the Nid side of Leviathan box set, and yeah, push fit. It's nice, but it's all monopose, and I can't really get in there and customize it. But fiddly stuff like Nids and Admac and Sisters push fit would be nice, because there's some I get a lot of super glue all over my fingertips when I'm putting together the small fiddly models, and I like it. But the whole fact of the matter is it's like, oh yeah, we created another push foot kit, and it only comes with these options, and it's the same body, and you got extra arms floating around, but you can't really easily kit bash. It's a downside. You know, all these old kits were fun to kit bash, put together. A lot of my Death Watch army was actually like just, I had spares of all sorts of stuff left over from putting together my Black Templars army, and yeah, I just had like all these extra guns and, you know, storm shields and just thunder hammers, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go on and buy some spare legs and torsos and just be like, use up my pile of bits and putting together, and I ended up fleshing out like my Imperial Fist, got a bunch of reinforcements when I did that. My Crimson Fist got a few reinforcements from Devastator squads with the heavy bolters. You know, I had extra Marines laying around. A bunch of them got followed into the Death Watch, and I had fun with it. But you know, these Primaris push fits, what do I got? I got a bunch of extra arms and extra heads floating around. They're cut off at weird angles. They're not going to be really easy kit bashes to do. I mean, I can use them for basing decoration, you know, severed arm and a head that's just like off to the side, and make my bases look really cool and stuff. But you know, you get to a certain point where you're like, I got more spare bits than I need, and yeah, it's kind of annoying for me. It's the whole thing of like, right now until Codex Space Marines drops and we get Codex Death Watch coming after that, whenever it comes after that, I'm kind of in this flux of like, what do I do? Do I buy? Am I gonna basically just be like, well, okay, I've been planning to Primaris update my Black Templars for a while, or I'm gonna let Black Templars slide to the wayside and be like, well, they're no longer one of the armies that I play, because I don't want to have to go buy a whole new army, because I've only got like 15 Vanguard vets and a Land Raider that I can actually use. I could port those over to the Death Watch. I could easily just strip them down and Zenathal prime them and make them be Imperial Fist, which is kind of the way that a lot of stuff is going nowadays. I'm just basically kind of like, I'm just painting Imperial Fist because I've fallen in love with that Imperial Fist contrast yellow. Oh, that is so much, so good. Like, this is so good. Man, I got a lot of glare. Yellow. Perfect yellow. Nah, it's just the whole thing of, I feel like I'm in the same spot that a lot of Warhammer 40k players are in, with the whole thing of like, what do I do? Do I just let this army sail off into the sunset and be like, well, fun while it lasted, okay. I can slot some stuff over into my other armies and we call it a day. But if they do keep Firstborn in the kill teams for the Death Watch, then that's an easy, okay, you guys have been released, you've been tithed by the Templars to go over to the Death Watch. I can pop off all the shoulder pads on the left arm and drop a Death Watch 1 down on, silver up that arm and call it a day, because honestly how I paint my Black Templars is the same way that I paint my my Death Watch. Is black power armor, just one arm silver and got a different shoulder pad. So that's what I'm hoping for. That is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping we can still use these models and we can port them over to the Death Watch and call it a day. If not, then I'm gonna retire some minis and maybe throw the lot up on eBay, see if I can recoup a few losses. That's always a great thing to do when you've got spare minis floating around that you don't know what to do with. Yeah, it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, man. You play a game and stuff gets errata and changed and updated and new versions come out and you're just like, okay, you either gotta fish or cut bait. And I guess that's what the message of this week is. And the other message of this week, the other thing that I want to talk about is what's the other thing I want to talk about? The other thing I want to talk about is I know this is not my normal posting time for a Geeky Grind. This is the time that this is the time I'm normally working on stuff for the rest of the week. I like to have these all uploaded ready to go at midnight, but been a stressful week, been a hectic week with everything. The heat is just, and so one of the things that me and the wife have been doing a lot recently is we've been using this self-help book, this whole thing of like how to plan your life and get success. It's called Dreamier, and so we've been reading this together and we've been working through the worksheets. You know, we meet up twice a week to have Dreamier time to go over stuff, reflect on how the week went and everything. And one of the things that they say is, hey, successful people are going to have failures. You're going to not meet deadlines. Stuff is going to happen. And it's what happens when you're thrown that curveball of didn't have enough time, unexpected things happen, and what do you do when the plan falls apart? And that book has really been helping out, because I could have easily said, oh, missed my deadline, didn't have Geeky Grind ready, and the week's all thrown out, and I can just throw my hands up in the air and just walk away from it and I'll call it a day. But I didn't want to do that, because that's admitting defeat. You can fail, but you don't want to be defeated. And that's what I'm doing with my Firstborn, with my 2,000 points of Firstborn Marines, is looking at it going, all right, so this happened, and I can either be like, give up, I hate this game, it sucks, walk away, they ruined it. Or I can be like, okay, what can I do? I can come at this, okay, I've been handed a problem, how do I solve it? Well, I know I've got units in the army that could easily be repainted and put into my main army, my main Space Marine army. I've got units that might possibly be able to be slotted over into one of my other armies, which works out. Easily just, slap on a new shoulder pad, give it a little coat of primer paint, go over with a little dry brush to get my highlights with my white, do a dry brushes zenathal highlight on it, and come back over with silver, do a wash, call it good, move on. Update the army. You know, if I want, I've been thinking about playing Black Templars, but I know that the Primaris Crusader squads are better. Time to put the Firstborn Crusader squads out to pasture. Time to get rid of the scouts. Time to move on to newer, better things. Time to record this episode. And time for me to shut up, let you get about your business, and enjoy the rest of your day. So, peace.